UFC 254, Kabib versus Gaethje, Kerry Williams, Olympic level boxing coach, professional fighter, coach. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
Welcome. Are you excited?
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about this and to watch it.
Yeah, I want to watch it too. Kabib versus Gaethje. Oh! I don't know how he does that. That's athleticism.
Oh, yeah.
He has more athleticism than Kabib.
Kabib. He likes to bang, that's for sure. He's like, oh, you gonna stop it, ref? He looked at the ref 2 times. He was like, yo, bro, are you gonna stop it? That's why you never back out with your hands down like that, because fools will keep coming at you. That's exactly what he did. He just kept coming
backed out with his hand. Don't back out with your hands down.
No.
What'd you say? It was high level skill and experience to be able to go to the ref. I just knocked this guy out. Can you stop the fight? No, you're not going to stop it. I'm going to keep punching him. Are you going to stop it now, you kid?
Right. I'm going to keep fucking looking at you.
That is high level, right?
Yeah.
Like you see some of these other fighters that keep going like ground and pound, like when they're going ballistic, and then the guy's like having to pull them off, and they're just going off almost instinct.
Right. Yeah.
We've seen some intelligence.
Absolute intelligence.
Okay. So not that we need to see it because we know Khabib's a big star, but let's just see some fun Khabib highlights. It's going to be some grappling. It's going to be some Conor McGregor. And I'm sure there's going to be a majority. Top finishes, Kabib, the Eagle, all his highlights. Let's have a look at the Eagle. I wonder how he got that name. The Eagle. Is it like a Russian thing?
Maybe. I don't
Is
know.
Is the Eagle a Russian thing? I don't think so.
Maybe it's, I mean, you get your fight name in the gym when you're training usually.
That guy took a punishment, didn't he?
Yeah.
That guy was fucking taking a beating.
Oh, got him.
Just like puts his head down.
Yeah, he's gotten better at not putting his head down and keeping his eyes up more.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's he comes in fairly wild, and he's going in for a takedown, right? He's always going to go for it. He's going to go for the takedown all the time. He's going to do it again and do it again.
Is that a telltale sign of an amateur boxer or someone who's new that they're kind of just throwing without really? They're not really watching the target.
Oh, absolutely. That's that's less than being an amateur fighter.
That's less, okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying his skills in that fight that we just saw versus his earlier fights,
right,
was less than an amateur boxer's skill,
right,
with that ducking head.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better, obviously.
You can still be harsh. You can be.
But he has gotten better.
Okay,
but
he has gotten better.
He did suck at one point.
That's fair. That's fair. We've seen more stuff. We see his striking similar, right? Not better, but similar.
Yeah, he jumps in pretty wild with his shot.
He can, though, because he has such good takedowns.
Right, unless you get caught when you're coming in crazy.
Having seen that, who do you want to start with?
Gaethje.
Justin Gaethje, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, can we have a look at the stats there? Only 2 defeats, 2 losses.
Reach is the same. They're
physically
toe and toe here. Yeah.
Physically toe to toe.
Yeah.
All right, but let's look at
Very similar.
They're very similar. So let's Justin Gaethje. I mean, like, because people know they don't know, but they kind of know Kabib. Let's have a look at Gaethje. What do you think?
Ferguson. He beat Ferguson.
Looks good.
Yeah, he looked good in that fight. He's a kicker, boy. I mean, he has chopped some legs down. But you have to remember too, he's also a former, he was top 3 in the nation in wrestling. So he has a lot of great wrestling skills. Not better than Kabib at wrestling, but you have to think who has Kabib fought that had that caliber of wrestling skills, right? Mm-hmm. So him being able to stop the takedowns that Khabib's going to bring on.
Do you think he'll be able to stop it? This is the biggest question, I think. Do you think Justin Gaethje will be able to stop the takedown of Kabib Nurmagomedov?
I think he will. And I think he's either going to...
you think he'll be able to stop the takedowns?
He's either going to stop it or he's going to catch him coming in. I've seen him in some of his fights throw some pretty crisp uppercuts. He could do it that way. Kabib comes in a little wild with the shots. He jumps in, left, right, around. You could catch him coming in with the uppercut.
So you're sitting on the blue couch and you're picking the blue corner.
I always go for the underdog, I feel.
Do you really think he can catch... Okay, let me ask you a question. Anyone that watches UFC knows that the flying knee... Anyone that's a real fan of the UFC knows that the flying knee that... who did the flying knee? Joe, who did the flying knee?
Yeah,
Masvidal. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start again.
Yeah.
All right. Carrie, what you're saying is that you think that Justin Gaethje will be able to not only stop and nullify Khabib's takedowns, but he'll be able to catch him coming in for a shot. Justin Gaethje catching Kabib Nurmagomedov, undefeated fighter, catching him coming in.
I think it's possible. I know it's mind-blowing, but...
Hang on. The only time we've ever seen a fighter really ever catch anybody coming in was Yoel Romero with a flying knee against Chris Weidman when Chris Weidman was already gassed out in the 4th round and very tired. Apart from that, the only other time we've seen a flying knee catching somebody on the way in, which was totally a once in a lifetime, once in a blue moon, George Masvidal with that 5-second thing.
Right.
So what we're saying is it's super unlikely.
I didn't say it with a flying knee.
You think an uppercut's more likely? Right. Holy shit, you just heard it here first. An uppercut, I agree with you. An uppercut's way more likely than a flying knee.
Yeah.
You know, if you watch, I don't want to bring up McGregor because I fucking love his guts out, but McGregor tried. If you go back and watch the fight against Kabib versus McGregor, in the very, very first minute, Kabib got a takedown on McGregor. Right. McGregor put the pressure on, which is exactly what I think Gaethje's going to do. Put the pressure on to force the takedown. McGregor actually tried to do a knee. If you rewatch it, I don't know if you saw that, but if you rewatch it, guys, the McGregor versus Kabib fight, at the very beginning, McGregor tried to switch. I don't know if he did a switch knee, but he tried the knee. It didn't work because it's so hard to time.
Yeah, right.
But you're saying, I think what you're saying is valid, that Gaethje's got more of a chance because he does an uppercut. He just does an uppercut.
He could, and I think that, he breaks down legs. I think he'll definitely be trying to do that. And people go, well, if he's going to kick, then, obviously Khabib's going to take him down. But Gaethje has a better defense. So can Justin Gaethje kick? Or will he just get taken down? No, he can kick and he can also stop the takedowns.
But if he kicks, won't Kabib just take him down? He'll catch the kick, won't he?
That's what I'm saying, is that's stopping a takedown. So if you're able to kick and not allow the takedown.
But what I'm saying is that Justin Gaethje will kick Kabib and Kabib will catch the kick and take him down.
Right, but what if he can't catch the kick? Or what if he catches the kick, but Gaethje still defends from the takedown? Right? He was an all-star wrestler.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's as good as Kabib in wrestling. No, but he's definitely more experienced in defending a takedown than Khabib's former opponent.
Fair.
It's fighting. Anything can happen.
I think if we look just as well, guys, if you're looking at this, like, what is it, last 6 fights with Gaethje. Out of his last 6 fights, he lost the first 2 from his last 6, and the 4 after that, most recent 4, I don't know if you can see me there, he won. And after he had those 2 losses in a row, he changed his fighting style from brawler, reckless, to being more, because he used to say, Justin Gaethje used to say, I just want to put on a show.
Right.
And 4 fights ago, when he started winning again, 4 fights in a row, he's won. Yeah. Changed his style.
Yeah, he got smart.
Smart.
Yeah, he started going, well, I'm going to have to think when I'm out there. And I'm going to have to tighten up my shots. You know, I can't just go out there like balls to the wall. So, yeah, he's cleaned it up a lot. He's going to be smart out there.
Okay. And if we look at his last few wins, Ferguson was perhaps hyped, but he dismantled Ferguson, like seriously dismantled Ferguson. Cerrone, we can't say Cerrone. Barboza's not in the top 10. And then Vic, I don't know where Vic is, but he lost against high-level guys, which doesn't look good. But we're saying that the last 4 fights he's changed his game plan. Right. But if we weren't saying that he changed his game plan, and we looked at his last fights and he had the same game plan, then we would say 0 chance, I think.
Absolutely right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. But because he's changed his game plan, and it's shown, he, like, not just by winning, but he's actually, when you watch his fights, he fights differently. He
does fight. And I think he's obviously studied the shit out of Kabib. I think he's coming into this smart.
Okay. So what do you think about Kabib
that guy?
Nurmagomedov? Undefeated. Kabib Nurmagomedov. Undefeated. What do you think about him?
I mean, you think about some of like the great fights, and some of the great fights are that guy who beat the undefeated guy.
So you think he could be that guy?
He might be. What if he is? I know. It's a crazy thought, but...
This is what makes fighting so interesting, right? Because you've got someone like Floyd Mayweather who's like, what if somebody beats him?
Right.
But then he's still undefeated.
Yeah, right.
But then you got someone else that wasn't undefeated, like, I don't know, like a Tyson or someone else that eventually had taken that L. That person's O has got to go, as they say.
At some point.
So is it going to be that Kabib does the Mayweather and flies off into the sunset undefeated, or is it that someone takes his O? Let's look at his last few fights, though. Everybody knows about Conor McGregor. They had a bit of an argument. And they were a bit angry at each other. There was some bad words said.
Well, like I said, he submits a lot. You know, that's his game.
Yeah.
That's his game. So what happens was somebody who can stop those takedowns over and over again.
Look, I see, first of all, Kabib, he got Johnson. Barboza was perhaps on the way out. Ali Quinta was perhaps maybe ranked number 9 when he fought him. Like, here's the thing that I would say about Kabib, that he's not like a John Jones that has just cleared out the division. It's fought everybody in the top 10, right? Or even like an Adesanya who's pretty much fighting all the top 5 guys, right? If you look at a Kabib, like, yes, he fought McGregor, but McGregor was out for years and whatever. Right. And then he fought Ali Quinta, who was like top 10 really, right? So if you look at I'm not bagging out Kabib, but you got to look at the reality is he hasn't really fought like all the top 5 guys and just dismantled them, right?
Right. And dismantling means overall. It doesn't mean just one discipline. You know, he's not as much of I don't feel as a well-rounded fighter. I think he's working on that, obviously, and I think he's getting better at being well-rounded, and that's what his camp, he knows he has to do that, and his camp is doing that with him. But
would you be able to teach someone to be an elite level striker or boxer after they've done their whole life in one discipline and they come into boxing, let's say Kabib's, I don't know, 31 now or something like that. Could you, with how long would it take you to get them to an elite level? That's what I want to know. At striking, boxing.
It would take over a year.
But you could do it within a couple of years.
I'd say 2 years.
So you could argue that Kabib could be elite level striking now.
He could be,
but he's not.
But that you're saying 2 years, like his last fights were what? The end of 2018 was his last fights. You've got
Poirier and McGregor. That was 19 and 18.
Okay, 19, 18. So that's still like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So, and those were submissions.
Yeah.
So he's still not there.
Okay. Well, I agree. Here's what I think. I think the Poirier fight, he beat Poirier pretty convincingly. The McGregor fight, he beat McGregor pretty convincingly. The Alec Quinta fight, Alec Quinta went 5 rounds, but he still won every single round and still beat him convincingly. And I think Alec Quinta just fought that. No offense to Alec Quinta, but he just kind of fought that to say that I went the distance with him. I think that he just said, like the way he fought was very conservative. He wasn't like he wasn't
taking risks.
No, exactly. And it wasn't like he was like round 5, coaches go, bro, you either have to knock him out or you're going to lose this fight. But he just goes out and does another decision.
He just skated through the last round and just so like
what would you have done if you? Let me ask you: if you were Alec Quinta fighting for the world title, possibly the only chance you get ever to become a UFC champion, round 5, you're down 4 rounds, you're down 4-0, right? Mm-hmm. Do you go out swinging, or do you go out like Alec Quinta did and just try and get to the 5th round so you can say that you went 5 rounds?
I try to knock a fool out. I mean, yeah. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You're going to lose the fight anyway.
Yeah.
You have 1 round left. You have 1 chance to beat this guy. So why? I don't understand that at all. You know why? Is it pride? Like I don't want to get submitted. I don't want to get knocked out.
Yeah,
I don't want that. I don't want people to replay that shit over and over and see it. Perhaps. You know, that could have been in his head too. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to last the round.
Coast.
I'm going to lose anyway. So, you know.
I won't let him take me down.
That's a fucked up mentality to have though.
That's a loser mentality.
It is a loser mentality, yeah.
We say that.
I mean, no offense. It's just like you.
Yeah.
As a fighter, you don't want to have that mentality. Otherwise, you will lose your fights.
Yeah. I think that's important to note that it's kind of it's a mentality. It's not a winner's. I don't want to say loser mentality, but it's not a winner's mentality to go out in the 5th round and just kind of go, I'm already losing. At least I can try not to get taken down and try not to get knocked out and not submitted. I'll finish the 5 rounds and have that mentality that I think the other thing as well is Alec Quinta I think he's a real estate agent and you've got to watch out for real estate agents. But I think he was just kind of going for the branding and his image, and he just was like, at least I went 5 rounds, whereas McGregor got submitted in round 3. So at least he can say like that, you know? Yeah.
Well, I think if a fighter has another profession, you either all in or you're not. You know, when you're fighting. So you can't be a great fighter or a champion if that's not 100% of what you do.
Agreed. So the last thing I want to say is let's just talk about their mindset. Because we say mindset is so important, right? 99% of it is mindset. Mental. 90%, right?
Big part, yeah.
Big part. What we have from my end, from what I'm thinking, is that we've got Justin Gaethje coming off the back of 4 great wins, changed his style, improved style, very intelligent fighter, and has the wrestling capability to beat or to at least to perhaps stop the takedown. However, on the other end of the coin, we've got the undefeated Dagestanian who has lost his father recently, who was his coach, his mentor. And so that's one thing to consider. And then the other thing to consider is that every time we saw a GSP fight, it doesn't matter how fucking good the striker was, GSP had the ability to take them down. Now, I'm not saying that Kabib will take Gaethje down as easily, but I think he'll still be able to put that grinding pressure. And I think that when you're able to fire a shot, punch, level change, and mix up that and keep your opponent guessing, which Gaethje doesn't keep him guessing. Gaethje doesn't shoot, really. He does leg kicks. He's very good at striking. He's good at brawling. He's tough. But Kabib has the advantage that I see because he mixes up and keeps his fighter guessing. And that, I think, will make Gaethje hesitant to throw big shots. And I think that will nullify, I believe, some of Gaethje's offense. And that maybe we'll see Gaethje for the whole fight just on the defense, the whole fight, and never be able to get anything off. As we've seen recently with so many title fights where the person coming up, like Costa, or you want to use Costa Israel, couldn't get any offense off. Mm-hmm. What do you reckon?
I think that's very possible. Like I was saying, Gaethje's going to have to be able to beat him by countering. Mm-hmm. So he's going to have to really bring it on. I mean, when he's countering, and he's going to have to catch him coming in. If he's going for takedowns, it's that's the way he's going to win. If he's going to win. But yeah, I mean, obviously Kabib, and even though his father has passed, I don't think that that's going to mess with his head at all. I think that maybe the opposite.
What do you think will happen?
He might feel empowered, kind of like, I'm doing this for my dad.
Proud.
I'm doing this shit for my dad and I'm going to win.
No matter what.
So it might have an opposite effect of what people might think, like it's going to, have a negative effect on him. It could have a positive effect. So let's say Gaethje's got his work cut out for him.
Well, let's actually talk about that for a sec. What do you think the actual effects would be of? Because I always look back at like Mike Tyson, Customato passes away. Tyson wasn't the same. He went to jail. Long list of other stuff. And so in Tyson's case, when your mentor passes, it wasn't like Tyson's like, I'm going to do this for Cuss.
But he wasn't his father either.
Okay, so you're saying basically that the loss of his father, which is obviously sad, will actually motivate him more.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. So, who you got? I know who it is already. I already know who it is. Tell me who you got? Who you got?
Okay, I'll tell you my gut instinct says Gaethje.
Really?
It does. I don't know why, but I feel
catching him on the way in with the uppercut.
Yeah, I feel like something is going to happen that might not be expected. I mean, Khabib's got everything though. He's got everything to win this fight. But I'm going to go out on a limb. Taking Gaethje. And the surprise upset.
Okay. All right. So you're going to go Justin Gaethje. I think I'm just thinking about it now before I forget. I don't know. So when Kabib shoots in and he grabs the leg, he actually locks their legs. He does this thing where he locks the person will be sprawled out against the cage, and he'll lock their he'll lock their legs in between his legs. Kabib. So Kabib would be on top of the person. Kabib pulls their legs between his knees and locks his knees in and clamps down so they can't actually get out of that position. So what I would like to, let me know in the comments below, but like, I should have researched this before, but it'd be interesting to see if Gaethje was ever in a position where he was in that position with his legs locked in, same position that Kabib, because Kabib does the same thing every time.
Right.
And I think maybe going on to your point, maybe it could be an upset. Kabib does the same thing every time. Overhand swinging like this, but he knocked down McGregor, so he can't knock
Get him down.
But then he shoots, shoots, and then he'll push him up to the cage. I'm going to punch you. Takedown. Here it comes. Takedown. But he always goes in the same position. He pushes them along the cage and he locks up their legs and he has his head down like this. So in a real street fight, just FYI, in a real street fight, he wouldn't win because McGregor and all these other fighters that he's crouched up, grabbing their legs and holding them. they would just elbow the top of his fucking head,
Right,
which you're
the
not allowed
back.
to do
Yeah, you
with the
can't
back
hit
of
the
his
back
head.
of the head, yeah.
In a real street fight, Khabib would have the top of his head being elbowed by this person, because what he does is he holds onto the legs, even if he's down at the knees, very low down. He holds onto him and he like scrunches up like a little snail. He scoots up, right? That must be a technique. I don't know what the technique is
I'm
called.
sure it's a technique.
He scoots up. So I want to know, before I forget, if Gaethje's ever been in that position, how he reacted to that position, how he got out of it. If he hasn't, comments below. I'd love to hear someone else. But my prediction, I've got to go. I can't go against Khabib. I can't go against Khabib. He's a more well-rounded fighter. Gaethje he's won 4 of his last 6, even though the last 4 of 4 he's won, but still it's 4 of 6. And I just don't like it when I see somebody kind of just like, I feel like thrown into a title bout, like where the UFC is like, fuck, who are we going to get somebody? Okay, Gaethje versus Tony, the winner of that. And then, Gaethje won. That's a surprise. We weren't predicting that. Gaethje, you get a title shot. You're going to, oh, wow, Gaethje's wrestling. And then the UFC promotes it. And I just see, I see the UFC train promoting it, and, kind of, that's what I see. So I'm going to go Khabib. Not going to be able to finish him, I believe. It'll be a 5-rounder decision, Khabib. But I would be interested to see if Gaethje could catch him coming in, like you said.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch.
UFC 254, guys.
My neon sign says open. Who's looking me over? Looking me over. If I try enough, would you feel my missing piece?